morning, afternoon, and evening to all my fellow viewers. My name is Burger, and today I'll be talking about one of the most underrated games in the Nintendo DS library. Now let's discuss. When we talk about mystery stories, it always revolves around the protagonist chasing after someone or trying to uncover some sort of ploy. Well, what if we remove that something and have that protagonist chase after nothing? Or to be more accurate, a ghost that he himself doesn't know if it exists anymore at that point. A man trying to buzz open his past, one by one, piece together everything that lies in front of him in only one night. One night to solve his anxieties, to make him sleep well again, and to help others as well figure out the problems of their past as well. I present to you one of the most mind-boggling, intriguing, and engaging point-and-click visual novel for the Nintendo DS. Although I call it a visual novel, it's not really a not VN. I mean, it's dialogue heavy and it doesn't really fall under the category of visual novel in the traditional sense. I just call it one because it's on VNDB. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Hotel Dusk, Room 215, released in 2007 by Sing. Firstly, we must give it a proper review before I give my reasons why I believe this game is special. Hotel Dusk takes place in the past in the year 1979. We are introduced to our main protagonist, Kyle Hyde, who was a former NYPD officer who quit the force after an incident 3 years before where his former partner Bradley betrayed the police and was subsequently shot by Kyle. He was presumed dead as his body sank into the ocean, but Kyle couldn't buy the story and spent the following years being haunted by that fact. Kyle ends up working as a salesman for a company called Red Crown, owned by another former officer named Ed, who is more interested in collecting items from the jobs Kyle is tasked to do. For this game, Kyle is tasked to a hotel in the middle of Los Angeles desert named Hotel Dusk. The hotel is currently owned by a man named Dunnings who hates cops and tries to attract customers by telling these stories of fantasy of the rooms. Particularly, Kyle's room, Room 215, is dubbed as the Wishing Room, where the tenants of the room are granted the wishes they desire. From there, he meets the tenants for each room that plays a part in the story that brings together something that can make him go down the rabbit hole of his missing presumed dead friend in hopes he can finally sleep well again. Now we go into the review. Gameplay wise, I say this game is quite alright for a point and click adventure. It involves obviously lots of puzzles and you gotta look through properly for items. Remember important details on each part to gather more evidence to ask the tenants or the workers. Some of them got me stuck on it for a while, but you'll be able to solve them eventually. They also have a notebook mechanic in this game that is pretty good and unique. You can draw whatever, but the main purpose is to jot down whatever important info you got from the people you interact with to help piece together what's going on so that you don't easily forget due to having a short attention span. What really carries this game, however, is the dialogue, the visual novel aspect if you will. The more you talk to these people, the more intriguing the story gets. It goes like, what do these guys have to do with Bradley? And then boom, mind-blowing, rabbit holes. The connection is not directly related, but that small detail could help you find the lead on what actually happened to your best partner in the force. Usually the pattern for each chapter goes something like this. At the start of the chapter, Rachel, Red Crown's clerk, calls you and talks with you about anything regarding the case. Later, you go around finding clues, and one of the people in the hotel is the person you're interested in during the chapter. After a while, you get enough proof of whatever, confront the guy that you need info from. Should you fail, it's a game over. You go back to your room defeated and just go home the next day. But should you succeed, you get one step closer to the truth. At the end of the chapter, there will be a series of questions you need to answer regarding what happened in the chapter, so pay attention the whole way. There's also the vending machine mechanic, but I only found out about that after I finished the game, so I'm not really gonna talk about it. Major highlight in this game is the music. It really sets the tone for the story and really can change the mood. From intense to mysterious to goofy, and my favorite when it gets comforting. I kid you not, whenever Rachel calls Hyde, I stop reading for at least 5 minutes just to listen to the OST Serenity. Marvelous! Overall, Hotel Dusk is an amazing experience that you, yes you, must try out at least once in your life. The feeling when playing this game fills you with so much soul, and you can admire the craft that Sync has produced in this game. The story is incredible, the gameplay is quite alright, and the music is top notch. I would give it an 8.7 out of 10. That's it for the review. Next will be an analysis and my personal experience playing this game. Obviously, there will be spoilers, so if you haven't played this game yet, I highly suggest you do. It takes like around 12 to 16 hours to complete. But I mean, if you haven't played the game and still want to continue on, well, I can't stop you. It is that I suggest you play this game to appreciate it for yourself and love the game, or hate it. I can't really stop you on that. Anyways, but for those that want to end the video now, thank you for watching and I'll see you on the next video. What Hotel Dusk does well is make the atmosphere give you a feeling of a sort of unsettling feeling upon entering, yet comforting, as you interact with the rest of the cast to piece the puzzle regarding Bradley's case. From the paintings of fruits all over the hotel to the nicknames Dunnings give each room to advertise a place, it does give a sort of aesthetic of a hotel that was once thriving, attracting customers all over the country, only to now fall from grace on the brink of closure, due to one specific incident that changed the fate of many lives, related and unrelated. The characters you interact tie to the case in a weird sequence of events. Like a domino, Robert Evans and Dunning Smith come together after their wives passed away in a tragedy. Dunnings makes paintings while Evans sells them and then convinces the world that they were made by a deceased artist named Osterzone who doesn't even exist. The case persisted until Dunnings had enough one day and quit. Then on one fateful day, Evans sends men in to kidnap Dunnings' daughter while unintentionally sending his own daughter to a coma, all taking place in Hotel Dusk. The deal was simple. Dunnings made one last Osterzone painting and he could see his own daughter again. Dunnings bought Hotel Dusk and started working on the painting in secret, only for it to never be completed and him slowly accepting the fact his daughter is dead. Later it ties back to the other cast of characters. For example, Helen, who is looking for her missing son, who vanished one day after reuniting with him after a long years of being a deadbeat mom. Summer, who caused Helen's son to disappear after plagiarizing his work. Ironically, the work itself matches the aforementioned Osterzone. Jeff Angel robbed his own parents and ran off due to his own disgust after finding out his dad, a lawyer, was defending the crime syndicate Nile, which Bradley himself was involved in. Kevin, a troubled doctor who, after a lawsuit, was miraculously saved by his wife earning mysterious amounts of cash, only for her to one day vanish, causing him and his daughter Melissa distressed. Iris, an acquaintance of Kevin's wife. I mean, that's all I can really describe. She's not really that interesting. Rosa, the head maid of Hotel Dusk. Despite her role, she has absolutely no idea of what's going on the hotel itself. Lewis, personally one of the best side characters in the game and the one with the most connection. Without him, the puzzle could never be solved. Formerly a thief in New York, often caught by Hyde, relocated and worked in Hotel Dusk after the death of his friend by the hands of Nile, who is now after him. Mila, Robert Evans' daughter. Even if I explain with the spoilers here, it still would be hard, so I just recommend you to experience it yourself to see. The string of connection between all these characters tie back to our protagonist Kyle Hyde. What does he need to do to find out what happened to Bradley? With all the puzzles solved and the stars aligned, only then he could solve it all. And then it clicks. Hotel Dusk, Room 215, the Wishing Room. Hyde only realizes this towards the end, but truly the room was magical. He managed to piece together what he was missing for the past 3 years. He finally had the answers he wanted. Room 215 proved to him that miracles truly occur. With all the clues left behind by Bradley, he could finally see what he was missing all along. Who he needed to save. Himself and Mila. Hotel Dusk to me is a story about emptiness. The unsatisfactory feeling after missing something for years, unable to move on and search aimlessly, only towards the end for the truth to be laid out right in front of your eyes, and finally being able to sleep in peace. This game tells a story about moving forward by abandoning the haunted past that's best left closed, and tells us to instead to know what's still worth saving from this whole ordeal. That's all for my analysis for today. This is my first time, so sorry it's kinda... Anyways, thank you for watching. Please like and share and subscribe. And if you can give feedback on what I need to improve, please do so in the comments. And as always, I'll see you in the next video.